Right, let's take a look at the bill for today. And this one is kind of crazy. So there is certainly a couple limitations to it where it doesn't perform equally as good as it does right this instant. But um, besides that, this build is kind of ridiculous. I was gonna say that Summon Necro was one of the most AFK feels or builds when you don't really have to do anything. You know what I mean? You just run around and let your summons do the work, and you just stay back and curse. But after playing this build, I've come to realize that this build is way more AFK. You don't have to do anything whatsoever. All you have to do is press one button to charge around, and that's it. So let's go over the gear real quick, and this is going to be somewhat expensive in terms of the runes that you need for it. So it's not something I advise to build in the first week of ladder or something like that. This is something you want to build towards the end of a ladder so you can get all the runes, the bases, and everything you need for semi-cheap prices where it's not going to be completely extreme. But yeah, let's go over it. So we have this 12 ED 2 AR faceblade base with a hand of justice in it, and then we have a organ plate dragon, and I chose not to use a superior base for the armor because it's so expensive to repair, and since the armor tends to take a lot more damage than the helmet and the belt and the boots and all that other stuff, I felt like this one was it wasn't necessary to have it in a superior version. Um, this is superior, but a faceplate doesn't need to be repaired; it can't break. So for that reason, it doesn't really matter um, that it's superior. But yeah, so we have the dragon, we have the Hand of Justice, and we have a dragon shield in a 45 all-res royal base. And the whole idea with this build is you rely upon the Holy Fire aura. So you get a level 14, a level 14, and a level 16. 14, 14, that's 28, plus 16, that's 30, that's 44. Wait, wait a second. That's 28. Yeah, 44. Sorry, I got confused myself there. I confused myself. So basically what you're doing is you have your Holy Fire Aura is now currently level 44 due to these three items in combined with each other. Then we have a Flickering Flame, and that's mostly for the minus to enemy fire res plus the fire aura that you get from it, so you don't have to wear a bunch of fire resistance charms or gear, but you can basically max out your fire res by having that aura active. And then we have a Morass, we have some random ass tracks. The upgrade for this build would probably be Eth tracks, or I was thinking about Gore Riders, but I don't know, I don't feel like I need it. So I think Eth tracks is the better choice, and that's probably what I'll go for. Then we have a Ravenfrost for the cannot be frozen, of course. The dexterity is also very nice. It helps you max out your max block, and the 40 mana also works really well because you're charging around, so you are using your mana somewhat. Then we have a Dungos, mostly for the vitality and the physical reduced damage. That's the two main parts I want off of this build. And then we have a 2 life stole, 20 strength, 15 life, and an all res ring, which is again, we really don't need the life stolen, but all the other stats are what we're going for. And then the final piece is this beautiful pair of gloves I found, which is again, tri-res, life stole, 20 increased attack speed, a little bit of fire damage. All useful things for him, especially now that I needed to max out my reses and I was lagging a little bit on the cold and the light. So these gloves really did it for me. And of course we got a CTA and it's a 364, and then we have a spirit in a guided gilded shield. It's a 38 all res, and then we have a Geats, and then we have some offensive skillers for our conviction aura, and we of course need the fire thunder charm in order for this build to work. We have a torch and an Annie, and then we have some small charms. Most of them are resistance, again, because that's what I was lacking a lot of. Yeah, let's go over the skills real quick. So the way I did this is you'll need to max out your resist fire. That's one of the synergies to the holy fire aura, and you want to max out your salvation. That's also a synergy to the holy fire aura. I have 1 point in redemption due to once everything dies around me, and if I'm low on health or mana, I'll swap to the redemption real quick. Instead of drinking a pot, I can max out my life and my mana immediately, basically, and then swap back to conviction. And then of course we have vigor just for running around. We have cleansing for doing bell runs, so wave 2 doesn't poison us for too long. And then, as I said, if you look at this one, it says the bonuses you receive is from resist fire and salvation. So that's the 2 ones we maxed out. We got our conviction to level 23. So once I bow, it'll go level 24. I do need 1 more point in here, but that's for later on. I maxed out sacrifice. Not that I use it, but it gives me more damage on my seal, so that's why I did that. I'm using seal as my main attack, you could say, and then the rest of the points went into holy shield. I do currently have a ladder paladin, that's level 95. Once he goes non-ladder, this guy, all the gear off of this guy will go on him, so the paladin will then be level 95 instead of level 89. And then I'm probably deleting this specific character and then just keeping him on the level 95. So that will help me max out the skills that I still wanted to max out, and get everything set up in a way that I wanted it. We do have a lot of damage on our charge. So the seal and the charge is 6k to 7k damage, which is pretty fucking decent. Besides having the holy fire aura tick damage alongside with it, right? So, and we have maxed out all our resistances, and on top of that we have, let's go in here, we have some pretty decent stats if you ask me. 53 increased attack speed. The faster run walk doesn't really matter because we're using charge. I do want to get a tiny bit more faster hit recovery at some point. I'm thinking I'll add some 12 faster hit recovery grand charms with the offensive aura, and then there's we got some deadly strike, and the 33 minus to enemy fire res, and alongside with the conviction aura, that's gonna put us up at around minus like minus 55, I think I got it calculated to, which is, that's decent enough. So technically one of the worst places to go with any fire build is chaos, because there is a lot of fire immunes. So I think what we're gonna do is we'll go to chaos, we'll test out the build real quick, and then we'll see how it works. I haven't gone over the mercenary. It's my Fist of Heaven's mercenary that's on here. So this is gonna change once I get my 95 to go non-ladder. This will become a Act 5 mercenary, and I'll put a Eth head striker on him, and an Eth plague on the other hand for the cleansing aura. The cleansing aura is gonna work really well with this build because it'll remove the curses. So when you get decryptified or amp damage or lower res or one of these curses that are fairly annoying for a build that doesn't have Enigma, then it removes the curse semi-fast. And then I think I'll go with the I'll either go. No, I think I'll go with the fortitude and a maybe I'll take a Ariat. I'm not entirely sure on the helmet yet. Maybe I'll do an Andes. Maybe I'll do a V-Gaze. I haven't really decided yet, but it's gonna be something like that. Yeah, so that's basically the build. Let's test it out real quick. Now do remember that this is nothing like going in Chaos where there is no fire immunes really, because in Chaos this build is just stupid. Let this be the one. Holy. Let's just stand here and see. So this is the tick damage currently on, and these are fire immunes, right? So that's why it's a tiny bit slower. But even the steel damage is so decent on this build that without the tick damage, this still does a ton of damage. Now those weren't fire immunes, and that's where you see it, because it literally takes 2 ticks to kill them. But yeah, this build is really, really, really good. I cannot actually believe how well it works. Some of these things just die off screen because it's so freaking fast at killing them. And at this point we are low on our health, and this is where I want to swap to my redemption aura real quick with all these bodies around. Boom, we got full health. We swap back to the conviction aura and we can then continue onwards. And it spawns the Hydras on top of that, and with all the fire, minus fire res we have on, and all the tick damage and everything, it just hurries up everything even more. So very nice. It's very nice to have. These are great to see how it works, because they all basically just die in 1 tick. They have very low fire resistance, and you can tell from the speed at which they're dying at. And that's like cows, right? So in cows they die like that everywhere. Everywhere you go, everything just immediately it dies. Sometimes it takes 2 ticks, but for the most part it's just the 1. I haven't tried this in a PvP setting yet, so I don't actually know if this will be good in a PvP setting, but I have a feeling it will be pretty damaging. swap to Redemption, we get some more life. Boom. And since these are all fire immunes, it takes a little bit longer to kill them, but again, it really is just ridiculously good. We'll see the tick damage on Diablo real quick, and then right after it ticks the first tick, I'll hit him, and you can see how fast he dies. It's incredible. This build works out really well on players 1 to 3. After players 3, that's the tick damage right there. But when I'm hitting him, it goes even faster. So when you do stuff that has low or no fire immunes, like the cows for instance, they have very low fire immunity or fire resistance, they just die so fast. It's basically everything off screen is just dying. And it's an awesome build because you really don't have to do anything. You can just run around like this and yeah, chase the loot. The one issue with it is it does that tick damage is kind of crazy, and it does reach quite a bit around you. The area around you where it's actually doing the tick damage is quite big. So from time to time you'll have drops that's off screen that you don't see, like you don't see the enemy die, so you don't see the loot dropping. That's why when you play this build, I feel like having your headset on or sound on is a necessity, because otherwise you'll basically leave behind stuff that you would want. You want to be listening to that rune sound, or certain items have certain sounds when they drop, so you want to be really listening to that stuff. Of course it's not the J mod. Jesus Christ. But yeah, this is basically the build that I suggest for people who are not wanting to play with a bunch of other people, who just want to run around, do their own thing. I highly recommend this build. I think I want to do a video where I clean a game fully from Act 1 to Act 5 and just clear everything. And I feel like this is the build I'm gonna do that with. I was thinking about doing it with the Mosaic, but I feel like this is less work and it feels more just like you just run around and everything dies around you. I tried to give away this Fist of Heavens build 4 times now. Nobody has claimed it, and if you are in among the people that are watching this video to the end and you see this right now, if you go below and you type in the comments and you type claimed, and you're the first guy to type claimed underneath this video, you get this build, like these items I have in here. So we have Shaco, Arachnids, Mage Fist, and Enigma that's not yet made, but the runes and everything comes with it. Some small charms, some faster cast rings, and Maras, some random tracks, 2 spirits, a 45 sacred rundash, and a bow spirit, and this blessed, and we got a couple other things in here. I think no, that was pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You write claimed underneath this video, the first one to do that, it's all your gear, man. I'm dropping all of this for you. Please be on PlayStation so I don't have to try to find some way to transfer it to PC. If you are on PC and you definitely do want the gear and all this stuff, please do have somebody who can transfer for you, so I can just hand the gear off to somebody and they give it to you. That way it won't be like the last 2 times that somebody wanted the gear and then ended up not wanting it because it was too much work to actually get it. So yeah, please add a comment underneath saying claimed, and then that will be all yours. I am currently working on finishing up my necromancer and my boason. They still need some gear to be fully done. It's very little that I still need. Amulet for the necromancer, and I believe I need a bow for my boason. Um, and then I started working on a whirlwind barbarian, since I'm not really super good with the barbarians. I was thinking it's about time I get into it and I start learning a little bit more about what the whirlwind setup or frenzy or circ or whatever setup is the best in the game and what I want to be using. So keep an eye out for that video in the future. I also have a crafting 50 caster amulets coming out soon, where we craft a bunch of nice amulets, and I have been working on another 1,000 run project. The problem with that is the one I wanted to do is not possible to do online, sadly. So for that reason, I've had to start a single player character, and it's taking a while to get the gear on single player because I have to grind it out for the most part. So getting certain things have been a bit of a challenge. I am getting close to having a full build though, and once I do have that build up and running, I'll be doing 1,000 runs on single player instead, because it's easier to control with the player amount, and having I want to do it with players 8, and having that consistently online it's not easy, man, especially not when you don't want people to go into the same terror zone as you are in, and what I was doing in the beginning here was I was making bell runs and then going to the terror zone, like teleporting to bell, putting up the town portal so people could get in, and then I went back to town, took a waypoint, and then went to the terror zone that I wanted to farm. But what happens when you do that is half the lobby just stops playing the bell runs and starts coming over and running with you in the terror zones instead. So it makes it a lot harder to create a drop video where you show what the drops are for 1,000 runs, because people are extremely grabby and don't, even though I don't want to pick it up, I just want to show it off. It doesn't matter, they just immediately grab everything they can, and it doesn't matter if it's good or not, but it's just, yeah, that makes it very hard to create that kind of content. So for that reason, I'm working day and night on getting a single player build set up in a way that I really want to just grind out 1,000 runs, because it is not easy to do 1,000 runs, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and you have to be consistent with it. So yeah, keep an eye out for those videos in the future, and I appreciate you watching this. And this was the Dragondin build. If you ever want to try it out, I highly suggest trying this one out. This is phenomenal. I think it's better than the Tesladin. I used to love the Tesladin, was one of my favorite builds for a long time, but I think this just edges it out. It's just better. It's not it doesn't have Enigma, so it does lag a little bit of movement in certain areas, but I think in the end, if you get a amulet, a crafted amulet or a rare amulet with 2 skills, some all res, and teleport charges, that would kinda solve that issue where you feel like you can get stuck certain places, or feels like you have to backtrack a little bit in order to get to clear everything. So yeah, but besides that, that's pretty much the only 2 upgrades I still think there is for this build. Is a teleport charge all res type of amulet, and ethereal tracks, and then of course faster hit recovery, offensive skillers. So that would be my my upgrade. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you will be back for a new video. And Merry Christmas, everyone! It's December, so I hope you all like what you see. Send me a little Christmas gift in terms of a like or a comment, and I hope everybody has some great holidays and a great day. Bye for now.